best 3D printed force feedback direct drive steering wheel under $150. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Not to say that I will do it though. I'm talking about like building that, but hey, getting information is good enough for me. For real, bro. I ain't gonna hold you.
This is my latest force feedback direct drive racing steering wheel.
Okay, first, there's something I'm just seeing right now though. That steering wheel, right? This looks.
This is my late.
You can actually put that in the car, right? Like. Actually speaking, that's a genuine like steering wheel, right? Cause I mean, bro, I see some metal. Yeah, I see some metal. I see some you know, hardware or whatnot.
Test the force feedback direct drive racing steering wheel that you can build at home for just.
What type of steering wheel y'all be putting there though? Like flat like this, deep dish, you know, what y'all doing?
Just 150 euros. It provides a detailed force feedback of up to 15 Newton meters, and compared to my previous design,
Wait, people do that?
Of up
Like they use like a VR headset? I thought it just
15 Newton meters, and compared to my previous design,
I mean, it might feel more realistic, right? So
replacing the
don't
main
blame.
3D printed structural components with metal ones. It is also cheaper, more refined, and simpler to build, thanks to the use of this off-the-shelf real steering wheel, which also gives.
He answered my question though. Yeah, this is an actual one, right? This is an actual one. That's cool.
An improved look and a way better feeling in the hands. This new design is directly aimed at improving the issues you pointed out in the previous version.
Oh, that's the
Starting
V2?
from the motor axle, which got hot in long driving sessions, causing the plastic clamp to soften up and the axle to spin inside of it. This never actually happened to me, but the issue is easy enough to solve by using this cheap aluminum clamp to hold the motor, which also makes the whole structure much stiffer. Another critical issue was the quick release stable mount, which
Come on, bro. Y'all need that? Y'all need the quick release?
obviously can be only that rigid if made out of plastic. To solve that, I found this off-the-shelf quick release, which is usually used on
Bro, I got the same. It's not the same one, but it's like I got the same idea right now. Like over there right now.
Made out of aluminum, it will be much stronger and reliable. Other
Yeah, it's
design
the
changes
same stuff.
regards the pulley, which was slightly modified to better keep its concentricity with the motor axle. And obviously the two wheel halves were completely redesigned from the ground up to house a total of 8 programmable buttons and the wireless board controlling them.
See now look, I need to
Total of
know
8
where you get that at.
programmable buttons and the
That
wireless
might
board
be the
controlling
most expensive
them.
part, bro.
With also space for the needed batteries and the option of paddle shifters.
Oh
These
yeah,
two
everything is
halves
there.
are exactly the components that need to be assembled first when building this wheel, starting from installing the 8 push buttons in the appropriate press fit holes. Each button has a couple of terminals sticking out that will later be connected to the wireless control board.
Alright, bro. I don't be for real. If this is like actually on the like 150, right? If it's actually on the 150, why not do it? Actually, you know. Let me think about it.
Which gets
Let me think
mounted
about it.
here. One pin of each button needs to go to ground, while the other one can be plugged on one of the signal pins on this row and will allow the board to read whether the button is pressed or not. The same can be done for the paddle shifter switches, connecting them in the exact way the other buttons are connected and inserting them in the respective slots, making sure that the small wheel on the lever faces outwards and the signal cable.
Now my question is, how long does it take to print all that though? The base circle or whatnot. Like how long does it take though?
The small wheel on the lever faces outwards and the signal cable is connected to the normally open pin, so that the switch gets activated only when pressing
When you
the
click,
button.
yeah.
With the switches and buttons all connected, we can proceed mounting the paddles, which are the same as the older design and use 3mm nails to provide for a metal core that the magnet pressed here can attract, providing a super realistic feedback and satisfying sound. In the final iteration
Wait,
of
what?
this
Why? Hold on. Let me track back. Hold on.
and use 3mm nails to
Alright.
provide for a metal core that the magnet pressed here can attract, providing a
Oh,
super
so as
realistic
soon as you
feedback and satisfying sound.
okay.
In the
Alright, I
final
get it now.
iteration of this wheel, I actually ended up separating the magnet holders from the main structure using 2 M3 bolts to screw them on. That is to provide for a flat surface.
Like it
that
even
2
looks realistic.
M3 bolts
Like look.
to screw them on.
Clack.
That is to
You know what
provide
I'm
for a flat surface that will nicely stick to the build plate when printing, allowing the use of minimal support structures and guaranteeing less warping, helping quite a bit, especially when printing these components with more technical materials, even though I've printed everything out of PLA+. The 2 wheel halves are now completed and can be
Okay.
mounted securely around the
See now look, what is that though? No. Like I know it's a motor, but like
6.5 inches hoverboard motor by inserting a
Like,
3mm
where you get
nail
at, you know?
as the lower pivot and tightening these 2 and 5 bolts. If the fit happens to be too tight and you can't properly insert them, like in my case, just loosen these bolts that keep the motor together and you will be good to go. This design is actually the only one I've seen that doesn't require you to modify the motor in any way. In fact, you can just disassemble it from the hoverboard, remove the tire, and
there's
that's it.
no way it's
The
out of that.
specific one I'm using has
There's
actually some
no way it's out of that.
holes, remove the tire, and that's it. The specific one I'm using has actually
Alright, bro, you talk about some
some
recycling, bro.
holes drilled in it to help with cooling, but they are completely optional. Moving on with the build to provide for a strong mounting point,
So that means you can make one for your friend, for you, for yourself and your friend.
the axle can be slotted inside this aluminum block, which also happens to have another 16mm hole positioned below it and rotated 90 degrees. This configuration is perfect to provide tilt adjustment. In fact, a 10 cm length of aluminum tubing can be slotted inside this second hole and mounted to the aluminum quick release plate, using this 3D printed component as
Then
a
that
spacer
directly
to allow
onto
for
your
the
table.
correct clearance and the best strength possible. This strength is guaranteed by using a single bolt on each side that runs straight through the quick release plate, through the spacer and through a hole I drilled in the aluminum tube, eliminating any flex caused by the previous base being 3D printed.
Okay.
The motor providing feedback is just one side of the story. In fact, it's completely useless if we can't precisely read the wheel rotation and adjust the feedback accordingly. For that, a rotary encoder is used and mounted to this 3D printed support that simply gets pressed here. The encoder is kept tightly in place using 2 zip ties and has a small pulley on its end that will later be connected to this bigger 3D printed pulley that
But like, yeah, look, honestly, all this is interesting and all that, right? I agree. But like, an actual feedback though?
tightly in place using 2 zip ties.
So you telling me like every like street bump you will feel it, like your steering wheel is gonna be like, it's gonna turn on its own, like do some stuff though.
And has
That's-
a small pulley on its end
That's
that will
that's
later
nice,
be
bro.
connected to this bigger 3D printed pulley that I previously mounted to the motor housing, allowing the rotation to be precisely read by the
And there's a
encoder
timing
and
belt. Come on, bro. See now, look, a timing belt added to that too,
transmitted to the PC.
bro.
Exactly like in the previous version, the encoder has an idler mounted to it, which allows the belt to be tensed
And there's a tensioner. No, bro. This a car. There's no way.
by simply rotating the encoder inside its housing. Last thing before moving on to electronics
What
is
else?
to
Oh, the
mount
steering
the
wheel.
steering wheel
Mhm.
itself. That is quite straightforward since it can be simply be screwed on
Wait,
itself.
where to?
That is quite straightforward since it can be simply
Oh,
be
like
screwed
over
on
there.
using 3 M6 screws and 3 respective nuts slotted here, here and here. The 3 holes that are needed to mount it aren't present from factory, but it's easy enough to drill them out, especially if they
Yo, wait, hold on. I'm just trying to say something.
aren't present from factory, but it's easy.
This is way too close, bruh. This is way too close, bruh. I don't like that. Well, you see all the metal like flying by? Nah.
Enough to
Look, nah, that's too much, bruh.
drill
Nah.
them out,
Whoa, bro.
especially thanks to this 3D printed template that ensures alignment by slotting in the already existing holes. And with that, the wheel is sturdily mounted, and you can move on completing the electronics. But before, I want to mention that if you don't have a 3D printed but want to build this wheel yourself, this video's sponsor, PCBWay, is here to help you by providing a super high quality on-demand manufacturing service, which includes
So they
everything from
actually
plastic
could like
3D
help out for
printing
that.
required
That's
in this
nice.
project, to CNC machining, PCB making, laser cutting, and injection molding. If you're looking for a way to cheaply step up the quality of your creations, PCBWay is definitely the way to go. They offer very competitive prices and fast turnaround times, so check them out at the link below. Back to the build, the last step remaining is to install the electronics, which is actually quite simple and consisting of just this Maker-Base X-Drive mini controller, which gets screwed here, paired to this braking resistor that can be mounted above, and will take care of dissipating any excess energy that is generating when the wheel motor is resisting your movement. All the connections on the wheel and on the wheelbase can be made following these circuit diagrams, which you'll find included.
Hold on, man. Alright. Blue to blue. I mean, it's the same color. Now, what is that? What's that? Power bank? I mean, yeah, obviously, but okay. And then that's the strange controller from before, the realistic feedback, and yeah, this he showed already. Yeah.
With the download of the files, we can finish everything by simply connecting the needed 24 volts 20 amperes power supply and installing the two batteries that will power the wireless wheel buttons and shift paddles. And with that, the wheel is finished and feeling truly premium, making for a completely different driving experience. Truly premium, making for...
Y'all saw some? Y'all seen some? Cause I'm seeing some. Look at the clamps that bro got, bro. Yo, what is that?
And with that...
Look. They say Alpa 500, a bit of rust in there. He got two of those. The left side and the right side.
And feeling truly premium, making for a completely different driving experience, especially when compared to my previous version, mainly due to the increased rigidity and the better feeling of the real steering wheel in the hands. To properly test it, I've clamped it to my desk and slotted my sim racing cockpit below it to provide for a sturdy
this is what you call
and slotted my sim racing cockpit below it.
A custom setup. Cause look, he got the wood, he got the pedals, he got the clamps, the Alpa clamps. He got the screen, of course. He got the desk, he got the computer, he got the shifter, he got the Recaro drift shop. Okay, bucket.
Pedals and shifter.
Yeah, it doesn't look too bad.
This setup allowed me to carefully test this new wheel exactly as if you were to build it, removing the advantages caused by having a dedicated cockpit. This wheel truly provides an experience you simply can't get anywhere else at this price, with a strong force feedback of up to 15 Newton meters, accurate input, and
this is realistic then.
Response, which is expected from a direct drive wheel. All of this can work thanks to the amazing firmware developed by FFBeast. In fact, I want to clarify that I'm not taking any credit in the firmware or even on the base idea of using a hoverboard motor as the wheelbase, since all of that was developed years ago by the previously mentioned FFBeast project, a link of which you can find below. Back to testing, the immediate difference I noticed was the overall stiffness of this new system, In
So
fact,
it feels
the aluminum
real.
quick release is rock solid, and paired with the aluminum clamp holding the motor axle makes for a truly rigid wheel.
Bro, once again, all this looks tempting, bro. Once again, if it's actually on the 150, bro, might as well,
It
bro.
allows you to feel every subtle detail
Might
of
as
the
well.
car
I'm just saying, I
behavior,
might as well.
and was basically indistinguishable from having the wheel mounted directly to my cockpit. One thing that we must consider is also price. In fact, for a total of between 150 and 200 euros, you'll be able to have
Bro,
an absolute beast
you said on the 150. What do you mean 200? Hold on now. What do you mean now?
of a wheel that directly rivals off-the-shelf models of double the price. It's also the only model I
That good?
think of where the quick release allows you to detach the whole wheelbase from the table, allowing you to rapidly remove it, eliminating the need of having a dedicated driving spot, since you can just use your desk and switch from
I mean, bro, you still got your big clamps and your your custom like pedals and whatnot and shifter, bro, in the way. Which is, by the way, what is that part though?
to a driving setup in seconds. Modifying the setup slightly allows to take advantage of the
When he wants to do it in VR. Okay, now I get it. He got the steering wheel right there, mounted onto that thing, and yeah, he's making it work.
true potential of this wheel. In fact, mounting it to a cockpit and adding a VR headset brings the experience to a whole new level, with such immersion that you can truly get carried away and trick your brain into thinking that you are actually driving. The cockpit is the one that I've built in one of my previous videos,
It doesn't look too bad for real.
and it is fitted with my DIY pedals and DIY H shifter, which build videos you can find in this playlist here. If you want to build this steering wheel yourself, you can find all the needed files available on Cools 3D, a link of which you can find in the description below.
Okay.
I'm selling them for a price of just 20 euros, and with the purchase you will also find a guide with some useful build tips and instructions explaining how to install the firmware and set up the wheel. There will also be a
Not too
detailed
bad.
parts list with links to every component needed, down to every nut and bolt, and the needed circuit diagrams to allow you to easily build this project in the simplest way possible.
Nah, y'all see the screen?
To easily
Hold
build
on.
this project in
Right.
the simplest way. And
Hold on,
the
hold on,
needed
hold on,
circuit
hold on, hold on.
diagrams to allow you to easily build
Right.
this project in the
Right.
simplest way possible. A huge thanks goes to every single one of you that purchased the previous design of this wheel. Your support has truly been fundamental for this new project and for all the other sim racing related projects that I've brought to my channel. Also, thanks to PCBWay for supporting this channel. That's it for this video. I will catch you in the next one.
I'm telling you, bro, ain't too bad. 150. Might do it. Yo. Come on, bro. 150. He said 200? No. 150. For sure. 150. I might do it, though. Not convinced, but I might.